I don't post very much, as you would see if you see my other videos. But I see a problem with this world, especially this country, with morality. I mean, people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says it's immoral to be a billionaire, but she feels sanctified in taking someone's money who, you know, many a times built that business from nothing and became a billionaire because of smart decisions and employing good people and making good decisions, gave them that. I mean, they earned it in many ways. I mean, I am in no ways a billionaire. I mean, you can see by stuff behind me that there is no chance that I'm anywhere near wealthy. You know, I mean, you know, but I am a firm believer in morality. It goes with integrity, honesty, responsibility, respect. I mean, there's plenty of people that I don't agree with, but I try to treat them with respect when I speak to them, even if I don't agree with their points. I believe my situation is mine and mine alone. You know, bad things happen to me, yes, that I could not control, but my outcome is based on my choices and my choices alone. You know, I could have done things that are shady, that could have put me in a better place, but I wouldn't have gotten there honorably. And I guess that's the point of this, is honor. You know, honor in what you do. You know, you've got to be the honorable person in a situation. You know, it may not turn out the way you want it to turn out exactly, but if you handle things honorably and many others around you do as well, you'll be okay. You know, I get it. I'm a white guy, and a lot of people believe in what's the word? White privilege. But I've been in bad situations too. I mean, there was a time that I lived in a car. You know, I didn't have a house. I didn't have a lot of things that I should have had. Now, granted, I had plenty of opportunities. I could have making different choices to not end up in that situation. And that's where I think the problem is with this country, is personal responsibility. My choices led to that. You know, and there's plenty of situations in my life where I made good choices and I made bad choices. And each came with their own consequences, positive and negative. You know, as a kid, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Every single person I knew below the age of 18 was in a gang. Every single person. But I wasn't. You know, every white person, every Asian, every black person, every Mexican, they were all in gangs. But I didn't. I chose not to. You know, and it got to the point to where all of those people respected me. You know, partly because I chose not to get involved. And there's plenty of times that I was able to avoid a brawl because I was in a location around people who respected me, and they chose not to fight the other group because I was there and knew I wouldn't like it. There was times that it did happen. But it taught me that being respectful no matter who they are, makes a big difference. I mean, it doesn't matter where you come from, what your skin color is, what your gender is, being respectful of somebody is important, in all of life, and it gets you far. You can disagree on something, but be respectful, and more gets done in that situation. I mean, the same goes for Congress. The same goes for a simple transaction at a store. I mean, if you're respectful to the clerk and the clerk is respectful to you, more gets accomplished. It doesn't matter if you are having a problem and you bring it to the clerk and say, hey, I'm having this issue. If you're respectful about it, they'll be respectful with you most of the time. And if you're respectful to each other, you get something accomplished, and one of you gets what you want done. You both get something accomplished. Usually it's, even if the customer isn't exactly right, frequently they will go ahead and take care of the situation and continue having a good customer, and word will spread that, hey, they had a good experience, this place was good to them, treated them with respect, even though they didn't exactly believe that the customer was right. They helped them out and got the situation, and they ended up with even more customers because of it. And again, that's customer service. Now there are going to be times when a company's going to, or whatever's going to be like, no, we can't help with that. But, you're still going to end up with a much better scenario if you're respectful. Same kind of goes for this issue with transgenders and the pronouns issue. Kind of like the one in New Mexico. The memes that came out about this person, Superman or whatever. I've been in a situation before that kid at the store was. Speaking to somebody that I couldn't tell what their gender was. So I made a choice. I assumed. I've had actually quite a few of those instances. 9 times out of 10, the other individual is going to be, it's ma'am, or I'm a woman, or whatever, and I apologize, and sorry ma'am, have a good day, whatever the case may be. I have had one incident where the individual freaked out like that. And basically I said, I'm trying to be respectful. The reason for the term was to show respect. You choose not to understand that I'm trying to show you respect by using sir or ma'am, and I got it wrong. Correcting me is one thing. Berating me is another. So go fuck yourself and have a good day. They didn't like that, but at the same time, they left. And hopefully understood that, hey, I was trying to show them respect. And yes, I got the pronoun wrong. And I didn't do it intentionally. But their obvious sign of disrespect caused my reaction, which was disrespect. I'm sorry, I do believe in respect, but at the same time, if you show a sign of respect towards somebody and they disrespect you anyway, that's, in my opinion, when the respect can recede. And it teaches people, show respect and you get respect. Don't show respect and you get disrespect. That's just the way the world works. And I don't care if you're in the US of A or you're in some third world country in East Asia or Southern Asia or whatever, or Africa or South America, South America. It's all the same. You treat people with respect, they tend to treat you with respect. Now, there's other issues that have been concerning me lately, and that's the morality in this country. A lot of people have been talking about abortion. I'm firmly against it. To me, the pro-choice individuals are forgetting that everybody has choices before conception. You have the choice to, 1, not have sex, 2, have protected sex via, at the moment, birth control, such as condoms, female condoms, other things such as this. You have birth control, such as pills, IUD, any of those things to prevent pregnancy or conception. Then that comes to the point of conception itself. Once that happens, that is an individual human life. Period. It's an individual human life. Once you've gotten there, once you've made it to that point, you've chosen several options to not choose. You chose the option of pregnancy. Once you're pregnant, or as a man, your girl is pregnant, or the person that you slept with is pregnant, then you're responsible for that life. You allowed it to happen, you're responsible for that life. Period. You don't like it, make choices beforehand. But now you have people, you know, some were willing to accept, okay, before 20 weeks, before 24 weeks, before whatever, yeah, maybe it's not a life. But you cannot deny that once a baby is born, breathing, crying, has the ability to eat, pee, and crap, that it's not a human life. And yet Virginia is trying to pass legislation that allows a person to give up on that child and let it die after birth. What happened to the morality in this country? I mean, a lot of people, including those Democrats and all that are doing this, are trying to say they're doing it for the good of the mom and the father, as if they're on some moral high ground. Since when is killing moral? It has never been moral. Ever. Now, you might say, yeah, but Republicans believe and conservatives believe in war. You know, that it's just killing. Just because a war is necessary does not make it good. Does not make it moral. None of us who have ever been through it, who are moral individuals, liked it. Killing is not fun. Killing is not good. It is a necessary evil in that situation. But how you could say that someone who had plenty of choices prior to conception is a justified evil, I don't get it. There's plenty of people who want to abort children or want to adopt children, that once you get that far, put that child up for adoption. You know, life is important. You know, for one, it is the only way our species is going to exist. If life continues. But besides all of that, our moral compass is broken. I don't understand the morality of all of these choices. I mean, and I just don't get it. I mean, that's one beauty of our country is it is free to make choices, but you have people wanting to take choices away from individuals. You know, you have people wanting to take away the Second Amendment rights. And the Second Amendment is not about hunting. It's about protecting the right of the people to protect themselves and their rights. So, you have people wanting to take away the Second Amendment rights. I can say something that you don't agree with, but it doesn't mean that I'm committing a violence upon you. You can say something to me. You can say I'm a bigot, I'm a homophobe, I'm a whatever, and that doesn't give me the right to hurt you. But you have people trying to say that that's true, and trying to force people to say things that they don't believe. You're trying to force people not to say things that they do believe, which is how our country became the way it is. I mean, you weren't allowed to say the king is bad. The king is doing this, the king is doing that, and it's wrong. That's the reason we have that right written down as protected in our Constitution. And then the second right is to protect that one among all others. It's when the government decides it has the right to step in and violate your rights, you need to be able to protect yourself. You know, the people need to be able to protect themselves against the government should they overstep their bounds. Now, if people actually were taught this in school and believed it, they wouldn't be trying to take someone else's rights. That's why it hasn't happened in 200 years. You know, people weren't trying to take other people's rights. Now, granted, our country has not been perfect. We've had many, many mistakes. You know, and we've been trying to correct them, but that's not one of them. Protecting someone's right to be free is not a mistake. Now, including others in those rights was correcting no mistakes. You know, changing the amendments to include African Americans to make sure that they had their rights secured and protected under the Constitution was a good thing. It was fixing a mistake. Including women to protect their rights as individuals that are equal to everyone else who had rights in this country is right. It's good. Protect their rights. It was fixing a mistake. But taking away someone's rights does not fix anything. It makes things worse. Now, those of you who think that that is a good thing, imagine the shoe is on the other foot. Imagine you get this passed and Donald Trump, people you hate so much, are the ones in charge. Now you can no longer, you saying that you born as a man can no longer say you're a he or you're a she or a her is now the rule of the land, because scientifically you're a he. So you're not allowed to be a she. You're not allowed to expect anyone to call you a she. How is that fair? How is that right? Are you not free to choose what you feel is right? Plain and simple. But you're going to expect others, force others to do what you want? That's not right. Now, granted, most of us who believe as I do in private practice, in dealing with individuals on a private basis, or even in a public basis, but, in normal business, are going to respect someone. If they say, excuse me, I'm a she. I'm so sorry, ma'am. You have a good day, ma'am. We're not going to go out of our way to say, excuse me, yeah, bullshit. No. That's not what a moral individual does. But in public forums, such as Ben Shapiro has said before, when it is a debate, he is going to press that scientifically That's not the way it is. And you can argue that all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that scientifically you are who you are. And there's no changing it, no matter what you do. We are not able to genetically modify your DNA to make you whatever you feel like you are. So genetically, you are what you were born to be. But that doesn't change the fact that you have the right to choose. You know, you have the right to do what you want. You have the right and freedoms to be who you want to be. We have no control over that, and we shouldn't. We should not. You have all the rights that we do. We have the right to think the way we think. We have the right to act the way we act, as long as it doesn't impede on you. Why are you any different? Basically, what this rant has been about is the morality in this country. You know, so many people think that their rights are more important than someone else's. That's not true. As it's stated before about the freedom of speech by many people, you know, I firmly believe in your right to say something, no matter how much I disagree with it. I would be willing to fight to the death for your right to say it. Does it make you right? No. Does it make me right? No. But you and I both have the right to say it. And it should stay that way. The Second Amendment is about protecting those rights. Should the government step in and decide you don't have the right to say what you think and what you feel, then I have the right to step in and stop them. Plain and simple. And banning all of these guns is just the first step in eliminating your rights. Once that's done, then they can go after your other rights, because then they're not afraid of someone stepping up and stopping them. Anyway, that's it.